Hey folks, I haven't finished grading all the rough drafts yet, but a theme has started to emerge, and it's really like a big theme and a small theme, if I'm being candid here. The bigger theme is thesis statement, the lack thereof, and the fact that a lot of them don't meet the criteria for a strong thesis statement in a historiographical essay. The sub theme of this is historical lenses, so let's kind of take them in order. On the 30th of June, I posted an announcement that had half a dozen thesis statements ranging from really good to who wrote this kind of level. Uh, you need to go back. If I've left you a note in the rubric about thesis statement needing to be improved, you need to go back to that announcement from 30 June and take a look at it. The first one, that's the best one. That's what yours should look like. It's real simple. It takes about 2 sentences. You're going to identify the topic, and that's just it, right? Identify the topic and don't dwell on it. Then it's going to talk about what historians have said, kind of that conversation between historians, and then why they arrived at different conclusions. And that's basically one sentence right there. The rest of the second sentence would be it identifies the points of contention between the two different groups or three different groups, whatever it is for your topic, of historians that have looked at it. And that's the thesis statement. It needs to have those three elements. If yours doesn't have those three elements, it's not a strong thesis statement. You need to go back and rework it. As I mentioned when we started the annotated bibliography work, if you don't have a strong thesis statement, it is difficult to defend why you need to write this essay, and it's difficult to provide an analysis of any source material that is cogent that says, look, this author writing in this era using this lens saw the event this way, and this other one saw something different in a different era using a different lens, and here's where the points of contention are. If you don't have that strong thesis, you can't make those arguments. And it's just really hard to have a good essay without a strong thesis. Okay? That's what it comes down to. So if I've left you a note about your thesis, go back to 30 June, take a look, and model your thesis after the first one. Now, because in your thesis you should be calling out the lenses that you're looking at, or at least highlighting how those lenses are going to come into play, we need to talk about historical lenses for a minute. Several of you are using things that sound interesting and would make a good research paper, but they're not historical lenses as SNHU and other history programs define them. A historical lens is a political lens, the social lens, the economic lens, a religious lens, an environmental lens, military, gender, culture, race. Those are the lenses that you should be looking through and finding supporting documents for those lenses. Okay? Anything that's not one of those is not a historical lens. So if you were trying to analyze materials using something else, and no, the historical lens is not a historical lens. A student a few terms ago said, I'm going to analyze this through a lens of history. Okay, that doesn't meet the standard, right? Again, political, social, economic, religious, environmental, military, gender, cultural, race. There's a video on that in an announcement on 17 June where I go into detail about what those lenses are and how we use them. If you have questions after you've viewed my feedback, shoot me a note, m.caldwell@snhu.edu. I'll try to clear it up via email. Maybe we'll get on a Teams call for 10 minutes and walk through it. All right? Thanks for your attention.